Hey folks, what's going on? How you doing? It is good to be back making vinyl videos again. I know I've been away for a couple of months, but there was a reason for that. I was sort of saving up for a trip to LA and taking the sights, go to Hollywood, go to Santa Monica, and visit a few vinyl stores while I was down there. So right now I'm just going to show my finds from Amoeba Hollywood, the famous Amoeba Hollywood. In fact, here is my vinyl bag from Amoeba Hollywood. Great store, as we all know. Been noted as being one of the best vinyl stores on the planet. I don't know about that, but definitely the best vinyl store I've ever been in. And just judging off of what's in California. So yeah, it was a great dig there. I think I was digging in there for like 3 hours. 3 hours I was digging in Amoeba Hollywood, and you get lost in that place. I mean, you could easily lose your wallet, your life savings, and a lot of time digging in that store. It's a great place. So here we go. This is what I took out of that place. And we'll start with this one from Queensrÿche. This is called Promised Land. I have been after this one on vinyl for a very long time. It's a gatefold record. There's the gatefold. This is a back on black reissue, and it's on clear vinyl with the custom label. There we go. Really nice looking record. There we are. Good mix on it. You do have to turn it up slightly on the turntable to get some volume out of it, but otherwise it still sounds pretty good. I wouldn't say it sounds excellent, but it sounds pretty good. I have been after this, like I said, I've been after this for a long time. I think this was the last Queensrÿche album that I really liked, with Jeff Tate as the lead singer, and the band would kind of go downhill from here. And this was like, I think, the last one I really enjoyed, and after that it was interesting what the band would do after that, and then eventually would get a new lead singer and they would get back on track. But this is a really good album. There's a lot of great songs on here. IMI, Damaged, Bridge, My Global Mind, One More Time, Someone Else. I mean, there's some really good songs on here, and when I spun this, getting back from LA, it felt good to revisit this album again. I didn't realize how much I missed it, so really glad I pulled this one out of Amoeba. Next one up, something I thought I would never buy in my life because it's always too expensive when I see it, but I saw it for half off and I thought, what the hell. From Dream Theater, The Astonishing. Oh my god, I can't believe I bought this damn album. It retails for $100. And they had a brand new sealed one in there for $100, and I said no thank you, and kept digging on. And then when I get to the section of the used box sets in the store, they had this one in there for $50, which basically is half off, 50% off. And I just thought, I don't know, maybe, what the hell. You know, when in Rome, kind of thing. You know, when I first bought this album, I didn't like it. But later, as I invested my time little by little, I was starting to get a feel for it and started to like it. And especially when I got into the story. This is a really, really in-depth concept album. And you really got to put your time into this freaking album. It is over 2 hours of music on 4 vinyl records. So they both come in these gatefold double sleeves here. So there's 2 records in each one. This is Act 1 of their, let's just say it's a play or a rock opera, whatever you want to call it. Here's Act 1, here's Act 2. So far I've only listened to Act 1. This is like over 2 hours of music with like 4 vinyl records and shit, and plus all the other stuff I got. So only gotten to Act 1 so far, but the artwork on these sleeves, these inserts, these gatefold inserts are really, really well done and looks very nice. So we'll get into Act 1. Here's Act 1. Here's the gatefold for Act 1. Real beautiful picture of all these worlds that they create within this story of the concept album. Really nice. And the inner sleeves reveal the characters involved in this big play, I guess you could say, or this Captain Nefarious. It's a really long story, and you really got to follow it closely to even know what's going on. Otherwise it'll confuse the hell out of you. And basic labels, though, you figure all that artwork, the album label itself would be spectacular. It's pretty basic. Music on here is good. Like I said, once you invest some time and get used to it or let it grow on you, then I suppose you'll like anything at that point. But and of course, here's some more characters. I believe this character's name is Faith. This one's Gabriel. So I really do like the artwork on here. I mean, it captures the world that they're trying to create on here very well. And slightly different labels, a little bit more artwork on these labels. So really nice. I saw the band play this album live in its entirety in Oakland last year, and that was a great show. And they did the entire 2 to 2.5 hour epic here, and it was great. In the back of these are, of course, just lyrics and credits. Actually, it's just the credits. And the lyrics are in the inside. Yeah. Along with this really nice artwork. I really love the way this is put together. This is Act 2 of the play. I always call it a play. And again, more characters. More characters in our story. Real big cast of characters in this story. And a lot of twists and turns in the story. And of course, you got to follow along with the music too. It does get confusing. Therefore, you do have to invest a lot of time. And when the whole thing is like 2.5 hours or so of music, whoo! That's a lot of effort you got to put into just this. Now it also comes with a poster here, a fold-out poster, and this is the artwork for the fold-out poster. Really cool. I don't know if it goes this way or that way or whatever. I forgot, to tell you the truth. And then, of course, on the other side is a map of all the places within the world of this story. So there's a layout of the land, and you can kind of follow along with the music, know exactly what area on this map they're singing about. Yeah, it changes that much. Things change that much in this thing. So you gotta know the lay of the land, this imaginary world that they put together. Overall, this is a good album. I'm glad I have it. There was no way in the world I was paying $100 for it, but I guess I could pay $50. And I have the CD and been listening to that for a long time. So I became very familiar with the music, and it's still overwhelming to listen to, despite all that, and seeing the band perform it live in its entirety. But I'm glad I have this. It sounds great on vinyl. The mix is fantastic. This is a well put together package. This box is a real thick, sturdy box, so it can take some abuse and some weight. And the artwork and the packaging, really nice, and the mix of it, spectacular. So it is really good release. So now I'm glad I have it in the Dream Theater collection. All right, let's go to something else now. Daft Punk, Random Access Memories. I've been seeing this make the rounds on the VC here and there, and some internet radio shows I listen to will play tracks from it, and it made me always curious about this album. And I guess this trip to LA was the trip to go on to score the album. Here's the gatefold, real nice picture. And I like this, some really cool dance grooves on this. And it just comes with a lyric booklet that shows the album artwork, and yeah, nothing spectacular here. I mean, this is about the only artwork you'll see inside of it. And the rest is just credits and lyrics you can go through while you're listening to the music. But nice to have. And it's on the Columbia label. 2 record set, 180 gram, blah, 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 blah. So, I really like the dance grooves on here are really, really cool. And the mix is really good because it's recorded well, very well. Makes the turntable sound really nice, makes the stereo sound really cool. It's like one of the better sounding records out of the hall, and sounds great in my collection, so I'm glad to have this album. I've only listened to the first record, it's a 2-record set. I gotta venture over to the other record, but what I've heard so far I really like. Real interesting dance grooves and really cool arrangements on this album, so really glad I got this. It was worth it. It was worth it. I've been curious about this album. It was worth it. Okay, now when I go to Amoeba, lately they've been having a really cool collection of live recordings, kind of like glamorized bootlegs, I guess you could say, from FM broadcasts. They get remastered and they actually sound pretty good. And I scored quite a few of them, so I'm going to go through those albums now. Starting with Bryan Adams. Bryan Adams live at the Palladium in Los Angeles. 1985. This was a classic FM broadcast. And it looks like they got most of the show on this 2-record set. There's the gatefold. Little story and background of Bryan Adams, how he became famous. I love this because it captures my favorite era from Bryan Adams. This is during this time. This is recorded in 1985. He was promoting the album Reckless, which is my favorite album from him. I love that period. And the album before that, Cuts Like a Knife. Those two are my favorite albums from Bryan Adams, and I really, really love that era of him. Real high energy, catchy rock songs. There's the label. And then, of course, the back has all the track listing information on it. This is a really good, this is basically a bootleg. It's an FM broadcast, remastered, and it sounds really good on the turntable. I mean, this is a really good sounding live record considering it's a more or less a bootleg. There's I believe there was an insert in here. Maybe I put it with the other record. I guess not. I could have sworn there was an insert in here, but I guess I was wrong. Make sure. I guess not. Okay. But, yeah, it's a great sounding bootleg. It sounds wonderful. I mean, the mix is really strong and punchy, good live set, and the track listing is really good. Songs from Reckless, Kids Wanna Rock, Summer of '69. It also has Cuts Like a Knife, a song on here. This Time, Heaven, Run to You, Straight from the Heart, Somebody. It's a really, and of course there's others on here as well. Great live recording. Really love listening to this. Like I said, it's my favorite era from Bryan Adams, and they caught a really good, energetic show. His band sounds great, and he sounds like he's in a really good voice. So, really, really cool addition to like the 80s music collection. And another one from the 80s, another live FM broadcast recording, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And this is from the University of Northern Carolina, September 13th, 1989. So North Carolina in September of '89. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. What's interesting about this recording was it was actually promoting Full Moon Fever, which was his solo album. It wasn't a Heartbreakers record, but the Heartbreakers band was backing him up and playing some. So there's some songs from that album on here, as well as the classics from the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I believe the drummer and the piano player, keyboard player, would leave the band shortly after this tour. I guess they had just had enough. Didn't like the direction the Heartbreakers were going in, because everybody was focusing on Tom Petty as a solo artist, and it wasn't. I guess they felt it wasn't a band anymore. But this recording captured a really good show from the Heartbreakers. Now this one does come with a colorful insert. It tells the story of the concert and the band in not a very healthy place, but still put on a great show regardless. And more of the story continued with some really nice photos from the era. Really, really nice thing they put together here. This is also a well-mixed bootleg. Basically it's a bootleg, but it sounds great though. It doesn't sound crappy like an audience recording. Really sounds good, professionally recorded, multi-track recording. Really sounds good. There are some acoustic songs on here. Let me just put this back in the sleeve here. The acoustic tracks was Even the Losers, Listen to Her Heart, Facing the Crowd. Those were all acoustic performances, and they sound so nice. So nice. This is a 2-record set on 180 gram. The mix is really good on here. They captured the band on a great night because the band was sounding fantastic on every song. Heartbreakers are a really good live band. I think people dismiss them because they get played on classic rock radio so much that you just ignore how good a band the Heartbreakers were. And this record really shows it. Even though the band wasn't in a good place at the time, they could still bring it when they're in front of thousands of their fans. So really glad I got this. Some really good songs on here. The songs from Full Moon Fever, such as Free Falling and I Won't Back Down, they sound really great on here. So I'm really glad I picked this up. It's a tremendous live recording. Really love it. All right, the live records continue. From Dream Theater, Metropolis Part 1 live at the Summerfest in Milwaukee, 1983, June of 1983 to be exact. Another FM broadcast, put on 2 records, bootleg, and this one, like the other 2 live recordings I showed you, also sounds great. Great mix on here. It captures Dream Theater with their classic lineup with Kevin Moore on keyboards, Mike Portman on drums, of course, Labrie, Queensrÿche, Mayung. That classic lineup that at the time I think they were promoting Images and Words and getting ready to do a follow-up to that album. So it's the classic lineup of the band. This was put on 2 albums as well, 180 gram. And it also comes with liner notes, a story written about the band from the time, along with some photographs from the band throughout the years, so different lineups and the different pictures they took with the different lineups of the band over time. And a nice story written about the band from that time. Really interesting. I was reading this while I was listening to this live recording. A great live recording too. There's a drum solo on here that's just, from my point of view, just is badass. And nice looking labels. It is an FM broadcast mix, but it sounds really good. Really punchy, kind of boomy sounding, but that's okay. It makes the music sound real powerful. So I don't mind it being a little too boomy, because it actually sounds great coming to the speakers, in my opinion. I love the bass, what can I say? Good set list. Good set list. Metropolis Part 1, Under a Glass Moon, Fortune Lies, Waiting for Sleep, Surrounded, Puppies on Acid, Take the Time to Live Forever, Status Seeker, Another Day, Pull Me Under, Learning to Live. Just a really good album. Really good album. I'm a big fan of early days of Dream Theater. You know, when Kevin Moore was still in the band, and well, Portnoy for that matter too. Bootlegs from that era are always special to me. The last time I went to LA, I bought a bootleg called Puppies on Acid. This one actually sounds better. And this one actually has a better performance too, I think. Even the performance is better, and the mix and the sound quality is better on this one. Really good bootleg from Dream Theater. Really dig that one. So as you can see, I found some good live recordings. Here's a classic one from Rush. Rush at the Agora Ballroom, Cleveland, back in May of 1975. I do have a bootleg of Rush at the Agora Theater in Cleveland, but it was from 1974. So I had another bootleg that had some songs from this show, but only 3 tracks. This is the entire FM broadcast on a picture disc, which is pretty interesting. There's a front of the picture disc. It's an older picture of the band. And the back is just credits and track listing. Pretty cool. Here's the back of the album with a short little write-up of the band and some good photos from the era. mid-70s. Pretty cool. Neil Peart was probably only in the band a year at this time. And this also came with some liner notes and more photographs from the 70s of Rush. Earlier promotional photos of the band. In the back, of course, the story continued about the history of the band back at that time. And another earlier promotional photo. Really interesting story. I was reading this while I was listening. Because it's a FM broadcast recording from the mid-70s, there's a lot of hiss on it that you expect from a broadcast recording. But it's not that bad. It's still a pretty good album. It's definitely a good set list. And they captured the band on a great night. This is one of the first American circuits or markets that the Rush captured back then. Cleveland really took to Rush in a big way back in the 70s, early 70s to mid 70s. So this was a big concert for Rush at the time, and it shows in the performance when you listen to it. It's awesome, just awesome. A great live performance. Like I said, there is some hiss because it's an FM recording, but the sound quality is still, you gotta turn it up a little bit, but it sounds good. Great drum solo on here from Neil Peart, which is tied into the song "Working Man." He takes a really badass drum solo, but a good set list nonetheless. Side 1, Finding My Way, Best I Can, What You're Doing, Anthem, Beneath, Behind, and Between and Behind, In the End. And side 2, Fly By Night, Working Man, In the Mood, Need Some Love, and the cover song Bad Boy. Really cool, really cool. I really love this. This is, like I said, the second bootleg I have of Rush from the Agora Theater in Cleveland, and this was really spectacular. Love that one. Good addition to the Rush collection. And the last live recording, which is also from the Agora Theater in Cleveland, but a different band, In Excess, Cleveland, Ohio, Agora Theater, back in June of 1984. Really nice. Look at that. Really nice. They were promoting the album The Swing during the time of this recording. This is also an FM broadcast. So we get to hear early stages of the band. And the big hits on here were The One Thing, Original Sin, Don't Change. Those were the big songs at the time. And there's also some liner notes and older photographs back in the mid-80s of In Excess. This story basically tells the early history of the band. And more, the back has some more photos from the time. Look how young they looked. Really, really cool thing to read and look at while you're listening to the live recording. It's a great live recording. Really good live recording. This one is on colored vinyl. It's on red vinyl with these custom labels. Just a beautiful record, and it really sounds good. There's a short interview of Michael Hutchence because they took a break from the show. The DJ comes on stage, interviews Hutchence from the crowd during the broadcast. Then they play some more songs on side 2. DJ comes back on, and band introductions, and a short interview of other band members, and then back to the music again. It's a really good album. Really good live recording. Band sounds so young and energetic and hungry on this record. I was really glad to score this. In Excess is one of my favorite bands from the 80s, and they sound young and hungry on this album. Just an absolutely great pickup. Big score for me. This was a huge score for me. I love this record. So I've only spun it one time. I actually just fell in love with what I heard. Alright, so that's it for the live recordings. And every time I go to Amoeba Hollywood, there's got to be at least one Genesis pickup. And an album I already have, and then there were 3, but this is the Japanese pressing of it with the Obi strip. So you can see there. Normally I would let it go because it's a very rare import pressing of this album. I never see, this is something I don't see every day, so I went ahead and grabbed it. Why not? You only live once, right? So really glad to put that in the Genesis collection. Japanese presses sound so good. I don't know if they put it on a high quality vinyl or something. I don't know what it is, but the records for Japanese pressings really sound great, and with the Obi strip just makes it cool to have. So really glad I picked that one up. So Genesis, and then there were 3. This is cool. When I saw this, I had to look at it again just to make sure I was seeing what I thought I was seeing. It's from the group The Electromagnetics, and it's just self-titled. Now, the reason this meant a lot to me is this album came out in the 70s, and I'm a big Eric Johnson fan. This was the band Eric Johnson was in before becoming a solo artist, and I've never seen any Electromagnetic records on vinyl, and I was just shocked to see this. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was like $9, and unfortunately there's water damage on the cover right here, but the vinyl is in great shape. Absolutely great shape, and it plays really nice. Older record, but oh man, just some jazz fusion instrumental music, really cool shit. One of Eric Johnson, recording of Eric Johnson before he became a solo artist. And it's funny because pretty much everyone in this band eventually joined the Eric Johnson band when he became a solo artist. So I had Electromagnetics on CD, but I've never seen a vinyl record from this band. So I was like really stoked to get this. Like Steve Barber, he's actually been on some of Eric Johnson's records and toured with him. Kyle Brock has been a bass player for him and his band on and off. He did a lot of tours with him. Was on most of his records. Bill Maddox toured a lot with Eric Johnson when Eric Johnson was a solo artist. Bill Maddox passed away a few years ago, but really good drummer. And so I was really stoked to see this. I grabbed it up immediately. I couldn't believe I found this. This was a really cool thing for me to find. I love Eric Johnson. I love all his solo albums. So to find this very early days of his recordings on vinyl, that was a big deal for me. Very big deal. So real glad to score that one. Very happy to score that one. And just move along here. Another find. This may seem like a common thing. Why get it in LA? The Eagles' first record. I could never find this record with the gatefold. Here's the gatefold. And I always find it, and it's not a gatefold record. And if I do find the gatefold, the cover and the vinyl is so badly partied out. There's no way I'll buy it. This was in great shape and had that original gatefold. And cool insert. Very cool insert. This was a really nice find. And real glad to put it in the Eagles collection. This is a classic album, and they play a lot of songs from this on classic rock radio daily, multiple times daily. So made it a really cool thing to score. And yeah, I snatched this up immediately, like finally a good copy. You know, yeah, it's been reissued already with the original artwork and the gatefold, but you know, if you're patient and you just have faith that you'll find a good used copy, those are more interesting to find anyway to me than the clean, slick gatefold, the reissues. It's always nice to find an older original, so I'm real happy to have finally scored it. I've been looking for a long time. The last two are no big deal, just some 12-inch singles I always wanted. Heartbreak Beat from the Psychedelic Furs. This is the extended mix of the song and the dub mix, and the song New Dream is also on the B-side. Just always like that song. This is only $1, so what the hell. As well as this from Hall & Oates, Some Things Are Better Left Unsaid. I actually had this on a 45, but it was cool to find it on a 12-incher. So I got, both of them were $1 each, so I figured why not. Alright, that's it folks. That is my finds from Amoeba Hollywood. If you ever get the chance to go, because that place is amazing. I mean, you'll find things you never see in any other record stores, as well as books, as well as CDs, posters, any kind of memorabilia. 45s, they got a really good 45 collection there, and the upstairs has all the Blu-rays and DVDs and VHS, things you could possibly want to find, things that you have to go on Amazon for. They're in stock in the stores. Just, that place is amazing. I think the first day I was in LA, I was there for 3 hours, and the next day I went back again and found some things for and I was in there for like an hour and a half. The second day, can't get enough of that story. That place is amazing. So if you ever get a chance, go. That place is like Fantasy Island. All right, that's gonna do it. Leave me some comments and let's get some chats going. I miss talking to you guys. It's fun doing these videos. All right, see you guys later. Have a good one.